What's it, you tarts?
It's the Post-Match Shouts podcast.
F***ing hellfire.
Welcome to Post-Match Shouts, the podcast. How are you? Hope you're well. You've been working out. You look a bit taller. Mad shit going on in the world this week. Darwin scored a brace. TikTok got shut down, making the Chinese, a great bunch of lads by the way, dead sad. TikTok users in the States got a cob on. TikTok opened again. The Yanks perked up. Musk did a friendly little wave. And a certain former figurehead got sworn back into office. Yes, Davy Moyes is back at Everton. More on that later. Oh yeah, and this helmet returned too. Thank God for the relative normality of the beautiful game, eh? Coming up on the pod. Forrest, how come they're smashing it? January transfer window moves you might have missed. Moyes, Messiah, or just a very naughty boy. Judy B, the Starboy. I always knew I was special. The Brodge on his managerial genius. Loved working with him. Great character. And I chat to a very, very special guest. This is Post-Match Shouts, the podcast. As our mate Sonny might say, get on it, you tarts! Nottingham Forest are flying this season, currently third in the Premier League table and look likely to qualify for the Champions League come season end. Here's a few reasons why. Owner. Evangelos Marinakis has some deep pockets, but unlike some other owners of Premier League football clubs, he's shown since taking over the club in 2017 that he's not afraid to use them. Spending multiple millions of pounds on playing staff, upgrading the team's facilities and converting loans into shares to cut the club debt. What a guy. Signings. Forrest were laughed at for their scattershot approach to signings when they first returned to the Prem, but their throw enough shit at it to see what sticks approach to transfers has paid dividends immensely with signings like Alanga, Sells, Murillo, Hudson-Odoi, Milenkovic and the evergreen Chris Wood, propelling them into the top four this season. Nuno. Now Tottenham fans won't agree because he didn't supply them with the kind of swashbuckle that the supporters demand, but I think Nuno is a very shrewd and talented Premier League manager. He did a great job bringing Wolves up to the Prem in 2017, and his sterling work, top 7 finishes in their first 2 seasons back in the big time, helped establish the Midlands side as a modern day Premier League fixture. If he can guide Forrest to Champions League qualification this season, he'd top that and maybe show Spuds what they're missing. I always knew I was special. Legend has it I crash landed from the stars and onto the car park of IKEA Wednesborough, just off Junction 9, off the M6. A family family who raised me as their son, Judy, John, Joseph, Jeremiah, B. Which is a bit weird come to think about it. I was a baby lying in a smouldering crater in a car park. It's mind-boggling really. Anyway, growing up I realised sharpish I had to hide my super soccer powers in it. Check this out, absolute filth. I'm levitating, man. Boston, which I was absolutely gutted about because I knew I was sick and all the birds would fancy us and that. But one day I got drafted into a game and scored 119 goals in 6 minutes. Fucking bad man and I. After the game I goes home and my grandpappy said to me, Joe, you've been rumbled, pal. People now know you're special. We need to send you somewhere where your footballing abilities won't matter. So next day I rock up at St Andrews tonight and I could see what he meant. The standard was absolute gash. But instead of hiding, I started thriving. My powers increased and the world started to take notice. Blues was too small for me. I'm full of scruffs and that. So much so that I left and they built a statue in my honour, retired my number, and finally, embracing my powers, I took the Bundesliga by storm. I clocked that league pretty quick to be fair. Even the keepers try and press you into me, fucking morons, man. Then finally, the big time, the Real. And guess what? I bossed that one too. Because I'm not just super on my own there. There's loads of us. It's like being in the Avengers. But I'm the most powerful one. And most handsome. And charismatic. And got a massive donger and that. And that's where I'm at, mate. Smashing life and saving the world many times over, basically, ain't it? Like I said, I always knew I was special. Enjoy that? Then like, share, and follow. Sub the YouTube and drop us a comment while you're there. Go on, you know what makes sense. Two of the league's form teams, Newcastle can't stop scoring and Bournemouth continue to surprise. Young Kluivert opened the scoring, sweeping a left-footed effort past the keeper inside the box. Bruno headed bravely to even up the score, necking the badge stared a little sweat. Then came the most destructive performance from a Kluivert since his overweight Al fella played there in the 90s. Two supreme takes from the youngster, followed up by Kerkez to make it 4-1 and showed them titties. We expected a high-scoring game at the G-Tech Arena and we were left disappointed in that regard. Fortunately for the Mighty Reds, Darwin Núñez brought his shooting boots this week. On as a late substitute, he dispatched a late, quick-fire brace which kept Liverpool top of the table. Leicester were on a run of 6 straight defeats. You never know what you're going to get from Fulham, but fret not. Leicester duly let the Cottagers climb inside them like a warm kitten. Goals from Smith Rowe on his 100th Premier League appearance, and Adama Traore seeing off the East Midlands side. Leicester looked doomed, Fulham just looked beige. West Ham and Crystal Palace collided for a predictable stinker at the London Stadium. Jean-Philippe Mateta the difference, here serving up the campus celebration of the season. Oh no, kicked the corner flag, he's hard really. Nketiah got wiped out for a penalty and the big Frenchman scored a second from the spot. Arsenal must have fancied the chances, but Unai loves dropping a deuce on his former side. Arsenal struck first, Martinez desperately trying and failing to claw the ball out of his goal. Goal given, happy Havertz. Trossard then served up some orthodox wing play, setting up the big man for his second. Incensed, the Villa come back in the second half. Tielemans scoring first with a diving header before Ollie Watkins got all predatory on the back stick, walloping the ball past Raya and pissing all over Arsenal's title tilt. The January transfer window, football signings you might have missed. Aston Villa have signed Donyell Malen for some change they found down the back of Emily's couch. Monkey doing some absolute sorcery in the transfer market as per. Crystal Palace have signed Romain Esse from Millwall. No idea if he's any good, but his surname sounds a bit like Esse's, so worth a punt. Black South American Ben Brereton Diaz, formerly known as Ben Brereton, has moved back to Sheffield United so he can stink up the champs slightly less than he had the Prem. Big Philly Billing has moved to Napoli on loan from Bournemouth so he can look like a small man clumsily driving a gigantic man in Serie A as well. And City have signed Claudio Echeverri, the new Messi. Who was the new Iron Man? Who was the new Ortega? Who was indeed the new Diego Maradona? No pressure there, Claudio lad.
Can you talk us through your finish today, Cole?
What happened? What? I got the ball, looked about a bit, seen loads of lads in way, so I had a little wiggle through them and just kicked the ball quite hard at the goal. And the goalie didn't even touch it, and it went in.
And can you elaborate a bit?
I was dead happy.
Alright, okay.
You know what they say, another day, another bind. I'm here at the FA. They teach the new wave of coaching talent. How are you doing? You good? Have you put on a little weight? They give back to the game. That's given me so much. I bet you didn't think old Brodge has got the moves, eh? That's charity for me. No, I'm just saying. You look like a little piggy in clothes, so you do. Charity, I get paid for. The big bucks. People come to shame me, and by people, I mean lesser coaches. Do as I say, big fella. Don't do as I do. Great characters. Did you know I invented 440 and real leaders of men? So I did this thing with 3 envelopes once, right? And I asked the Brodge's advice all the time. Oh, wee Joe. Great boy, great character. They said to me, how do you do what you do? Loved working with Raheem, great character and top shagger. And I said to them, the easiest way to be as successful as the Brodge is to be the Brodge. Taught Pep everything he knows, so he did. If you can do that, show great character, then the sky's your oyster. Still got it. So go now and smash life. Be more. Brodge.
Sunday saw Everton looking for their first win under the returning David Moyes to take on Spurs, who look in free fall. The Goodison side drew first blood, Don Calvert-Lewin remembering where the back of the net was just in time, and I made it 2 with a shimmy past Dragerson and a powerful finish past the 8-year-old Spurs keeper. Archie Gray then scored. Unfortunately, it was an own goal, making it 3 to the Ev. Kulusevski then casually, impudently chipped the entire Everton defence to make it 3-1. Yep, no biggie that. They hoped the comeback was on, but it wasn't. Richarlison bundling home, all embarrassed against his former side right at the end. Speaking of embarrassment, 13th place Manchester United hosted 9th place Brighton. Brighton were out of the blocks super quick, Minter slotting after a well-timed rolling through ball from Matoma. Baleba then got Xerxes in some mad headlock, penalty, Bruno stepped up and sent the goalie the wrong way. Brighton scored a second, Matoma gambling at the back post and ruining Mazraoui hilariously in the process. Not to be outdone, Onana then had another one of them moments, spilling the ball for Rutter to clean up and take the 3 points back to the south coast. Forrest must have sensed blood against bottom place Southampton in their push for the top 4 and they duly battered them. Drives from Elliot Anderson and Hudson-Odoi followed up by a classic target man header from Chris Wood looked to seal the points for Forrest. Southampton gave them a scare though, a Bednarek deflection and Onuachu header, too little, too late sadly. Ipswich played fellow strugglers Manchester City of Portman Road, maybe feeling confident. They shouldn't have. City played like some kind of ravenous post-hibernation apex predator with 2 goals from Phil Foden and 1 apiece from Kovacic, Doku, Norwegian Chris Wood and McAtee. 6 goals, an absolute shafting for the East Anglian side that we saw in the morning. And last but not least, Monday's game seeing Chelsea host Wolves. Adebayo pounced first, bit of VAR nonsense, then the goal was given. Wolves struck back after a scramble in box from Doherty. Chelsea then decided to pull clear. Spanish irritant Marc Cucurella poked in Chelsea's second, and Noni Madueke wrapped things up with an eager back post header. Game over, and Chelsea back on track. Now, as a Liverpool supporter, I dream of Everton's demise on a nightly basis and was absolutely praying to keep Dicey, but they fired him. Heartbreakers. By the way, if you're not seeing me Dicey reel, it's exclusively on the TikTok. I'll climb into a box in this creme. Crikey, right. I'll be shunted into the oven there and burnt alive so that my soul can float off into the ether. And so the circle begins again. The circle of shite. Get on it. Now David Moyes, the Moyesiah himself, has returned to bring back the good old days of almost Champions League football. I'll let you in on a secret though, I'm genuinely quite worried he'll do a good job. Here's 3 reasons why. Mid. He joined United in 2013 as the Anointed One, taking on arguably the hardest managerial follow-up in football history. He left under a year later with his reputation kicked to bits and with about as much support as one of Luke Shaw's bras. Was the job too big? I'd say so, but managing at the Gaffer's graveyard of Old Trafford clearly isn't for everyone. He's obviously not a top manager, but what he is a manager who's highly adept at making mid-table sides play above their station. Money. It's fair to say Moyes always been shite at spending top dollar. Granted, Kudus was a success at West Ham, but remember Billy, Schumacher Packer, Fellaini for over the odds on deadline day, but he's always been good at finding a bargain, galvanising the squad and making the sides, from a pound for pound perspective, proper competitive. With more FFP fuckery around the corner, we don't know what money he'll have to spend, but history suggests if he can get what he's got going, they'll fly up the table. Stadium. It pains me to admit, but Bramley Moore looks the dog's bollocks. You can see the returning gaffer easily keeping them up this season, with the carrot of playing in that shiny new stadium next term surely a massive motivating factor. And who knows, a solid pre-season, some shrewd summer signings, and the Lonsdale Massive roaring the lads on in full voice, Everton might be a completely different proposition in the 25-26 season. We've got a surprise guest for you here, folks, coming live all the way from top of Barbeacon. Don't know where that is. Mate, what are you saying? It's Deans. Nice to see you, lad. Greetings from the pod. You're welcome. Okay, right. Deans, we're gonna play a game. Here's the score. Don't speak until you hear me say the name of a better striker than you. Yeah, got it. Okay. Sound. Let's go. Ivan Toney. No, man, fucking shite, like. Deans. Next one. But that's not the rules. I said, next one. Okay. Ollie Watkins. No, man, he's fucking shite too. You done it again, Deans. Look, again, you're not meant to speak.
But he is fucking shite, like.
Yeah, but the rules of the game are...
Mate, look at me. I don't play by the rules.
Yeah, no, great, but... Look, just repeat after me. Don't speak
Don't speak.
until you hear me say the name
Until you hear me say the name.
of a better striker.
Heard you first time, man. Carry on.
Right, we had Tony Watkins. Darwin Núñez?
No, mate. Fucking girly looking donkey, man. Would have sold him for soap in jug, innit?
Right,
That's
thanks,
fucking nice
Deans.
bloke, man.
Catch you
Pussy
next
old,
time.
mate.
Fuck my life. Right, that's your lot for this week. Fucking goosed. If you feel so inclined, like, share, follow, and please sub the YouTube. It costs you nothing, but massively supports the platform. Toodles!